Okay, where that mic is.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Let's go. Morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Drink your water. Water, water, water. It's important. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go. Good morning. Oh, look at that. Good morning. Let's go. Thank you so much for sharing your morning with me. Thank you. Send a message. Oh. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Davis. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Mm-hmm. You can't hear Paul. They're saying they can't hear Carl. I mean,
You can hear Carl, right?
yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, they should be hearing everything you're hearing.
Make sure.
Yeah, it's the same feed. I'll turn it up a little bit.
Default. Yeah, it's coming up.
You getting that audio?
Oh, it's very low. It's he's saying.
There, you're getting it there.
Okay, maybe it's.
Do you want me to turn it up a little bit?
Can you all hear the radio?
You've got it set for that input, right? This input.
Good morning, Charlene. Can you hear the radio?
You have to, have your audio set for this input.
But look, so that means they can hear.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great. Okay, great. Thank you. Good morning, Linda. Amen. Good morning. It's good to be here. I'm from North Carolina. I didn't know that. I have never been there yet, but my they call that Little Washington, and my father is from Vanceboro, which I'm sure she's familiar with, which is very close to Little Washington. We used to go there all the time. So I'm definitely gonna go by. That is beautiful. And Harriet Tubman, they give her we share a birthday, I guess, March 10th. But I don't know if that's really her birthday, but a lot of times they say March 10th is Harriet Tubman's birthday because they don't know exactly her birthday. Is that true? You can ask next time you talk to, but is that true? Okay, and that is my birthday. So I always say that God gave me a chance to take care over with financial freedom where Harriet left off. that's, that's right. That's right. Oh, thank you. Oh, so I hope she would be happy with me. I'm trying, Harriet. I'm trying. That's all right. That's right. Amen. 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 Mm-hmm. Well, I don't really see that as being true for us. There's jobs out there, but a lot of the jobs aren't jobs that allow the person to make it affordable for them to work away from home. Childcare has become so expensive that the person can't afford to put the child in childcare and work outside of the home. So it's if we still haven't made a full commitment nationally for affordable wages to be required for people to be paid. So just because there's a job, it doesn't mean that they're being paid affordable wages. So and that means that they can work and pay taxes and take home enough for them to take care of feeding their child and take care of childcare so that they can go to work. So, and have enough, left over after taking care of taxes and childcare, and make it worth their while to leave their child with someone else. So that, because the cost of childcare is going up and up, it's inflated. One of the biggest expenses that has gone up is childcare. So, and now they're not getting that child care increase, that advance in the earned income child credit. They stopped that $300 advance in per child being sent home. So the government is not helping a parent be able to go to work. So there's there's no support in a child and a parent being able to go to work. So, and especially in our community, which is more likely to have a single parent who has to go and work a job that is at minimum wage, which has not been adjusted. So, we haven't made a full commitment to afford to have an affordable wage. So no, we need to have affordable wage, because by the time we have the adjustments in the affordable wage, but based on current inflation, the affordable wage that's supposed to happen 3 4 years from now, it's not still not going to be affordable. So no, no, the reason that people aren't working, they can't afford to work. Mhm. I mean, I think that we need to have proper training on teaching people how they can work from home, and how we can have internet home-based businesses within our community. We need to teach our community how to have businesses in it from home. And amazingly, if you look at the majority of the people who work from home, it's not our people. It's not Black people that work, that have the ability to work from home. So you're talking about people making minimum wage who have to actually pay for this expensive childcare, are the ones that have to leave. So they have to go and pay for the childcare. They're the ones that make the least amount of money. The people who make the most money are able to keep their kids at home and save the most. Isn't that amazing? So yeah, so yeah, mm, yeah. There's openings. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, there's openings for us, but we afford to actually go to these jobs that we're even going to? Can we really afford to go to it when you're actually only clearing up an opportunity to max out your credit card? When you have so many members of our community that are actually living, going to work, working 40 hours, and still using their credit card in order to take care of their monthly expenses still. So, is it really worth it for them to go to that job just so they can pay their credit card bills? They're getting behind every month. How self-defeated is that? In addition to the fact that evictions in our community are the largest across the entire country. There's no help with that. When our leaders and politicians are committed to helping with everything else except for making sure that we have affordable housing, and that people are able to feed their kids, and they still are not making sure that they get that $300 for each child, and they get that credit back into their deposit for their earned income tax credit. The government does not need to be taking their money all year and then giving them the earned income tax credit back at the end of the year. They don't need to be holding their money all year as an incentive to work. And then you're not giving them any interest on that money all year. You want to help somebody work, make it affordable. Yes. 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 Go to YouTube, go to Facebook, AfroEconomics on Facebook, JB Bryan on Facebook, YouTube, AfroEconomics, JB Bryan, and definitely it's you'll see JB Bryan on the Carl Nelson Show and on your favorite social media platform, but just not on IG. It will not allow you to stream live, but on LinkedIn is even streaming live. Great, great. But yesterday there was a article that came out that this has been the month, or I guess it was last month, of the biggest record of real estate cancellations in mortgages since the pandemic started because of the interest rate increases. Basically, since the beginning of the year, interest rates have doubled. So say you had a house that you were building, look at the interest rate that you may have started building your house with, and that interest rate has doubled. So they might have said, well, we gave you a lock-in of 90 days or whatever, and then your lock-in ended, and then now your interest rate is twice as high, and people are canceling the deal. They're pulling out. So people, may be able to get some deals as far as like there might be some desperate builders out there who have some houses that they were building and people just pulled away out. They pulled out the deal. Like, forget about it. Great, 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 great. Fantastic. Beautiful. Woo! Bump me out. The Wi-Fi bumped me out.
It did. Reconnect. Studio IYE Studio B.
Wonder if it'll let me back in the same event. I don't know what Restream does. Oh no. That ever happened one of y'all events before?
I mean, let's see. I still got it here. I'm still on.
I'm gonna try this. Just go back into the studio.
Yeah, IYE Studio B. It just knocked you off the there you go. Okay.
I'm in twice. Woo! I'm in my studio twice. I'm glad I didn't do anything crazy. I think it's going to record it twice. I think it might give me 2 recordings.
Okay, I just wanted to show you real quick. This is a picture I took out in Seattle.
18.
That's starting pay at McDonald's. I took that picture when I was out there.
It's still, and the sad part is it's still hard.
Yeah.
It's still hard to live off of.
$18 Starting pay.
But it's still hard
Yeah.
to live off of, which is because think
Starting
about the
pay.
person that's going to be probably a 30-year-old.
Maybe, yeah.
Thank goodness. Thank you, y'all, for hanging in there. Can you hear the radio now? Good morning. They can't. The radio's not. So now this one, out. Let me see, Paul. I think,
experience some kind of erectile dysfunction beginning at age 40. Erectile dysfunction is commonly related to diabetes, smoking, high cholesterol,
it
high
still
blood
had the
pressure, and
old
poor
me.
circulation. Common symptoms include difficulty obtaining or maintaining
No,
an
I
erection,
think
leg pain,
it
or
had
leg
the old
fatigue.
me
At the minimally
still
invasive
on
vascular
YouTube
center,
because
there
I
are
came back
specialists that can
in
evaluate and treat
again,
your
so I had to
vascular-related
become the
erectile dysfunction.
person.
Under the leadership of Dr. Jeffrey
Can you hear
Dorbu,
it now?
they are here to help with your cardiovascular needs. They are
Oh.
open for business and stand by their commitment to provide world-class care. Go to
You can
MIBCMD.com.
hear
That's MIBCMD.com or call 855-803-MIBC-6482 to make your appointment today. They focus on your circulation to keep you going. Get healthy so you can enjoy life.
tell
And
you,
remember, getting older
technology.
does not mean the end of your sex life.
Personal faith and moral values
Oh,
are the
great.
stepping stones to what our children and country need. Put emphasis back where it belongs. Positivity and family. Let's give our children a solid foundation for
This
tomorrow. This
technology
message courtesy of
is
Faces
something
LLC,
else.
serving the DMV with quality and integrity for over
Thank
10
you.
years. For residential construction,
Thank you
home
so
inspection,
much, sweetheart.
mold inspection, and remediation, and more. They want to know your home is safe. For estimates and bids, call 202-327-3276. The nobody knows how they do it deal.
Ever notice how Sprite from Mickey D's tastes so good? Right? Oh, it's so zingy. It's like liquid static. For real. How do they do it? Girl, nobody knows.
For
It's a mystery.
free copy of the book.
There's a deal for every deep moment at McDonald's. Order ahead in the app and get your favorite any size soft drink like Sprite for only $1. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined
I
with
was
any other
my
offer.
email up.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
And good morning once again, family. 23 after the top of the hour with JB Bryan. JB is a financial advisor. You got questions about money, how to increase that dollar, make it stretch it a little longer. This is the lady you need to talk to. You can reach her at 800-450-7876. And JB, before the break, I was asking you about the real estate market because many people are predicting that it's a bubble and it's going to burst, that the real estate can't go up any higher. And then a lot of people are going to get hurt. So if you're in the market to buy a home, do you wait till the bubble bursts and hopefully, you can pick up, and I hate to say this, pick up where some people have fallen and can't afford to continue paying their mortgages, and then you can pick it up on the cheap side. What do you tell people who are in the market now for a house? Should they wait or should they just go ahead?
Yeah, and they also need to think about, why are you in the market to buy a house? No, make sure you talk to your financial advisor about what are you doing. Because a lot of times we're just in the market to buy a house for reasons we don't even understand. We're just so accustomed to buying things. We're always buying things. Um, I have this desire to see us at some point be in a mood for we're savers. I want us to get into when do we as a community say, you know what, we're in a saving and investing mode. Now we're saving money. An amazing thing is like there's a time where it was hard to find anybody who would support the fact that the US dollar had a positive future. You could just go around and the majority of Black people would say the future of the dollar is bleak. The dollar is almost over. Oh, the dollar, 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 dollar. Well, right now, the dollar is off the chain. Everybody's saying now, not us, but now the dollar has increased in value dramatically. Everybody loves the dollar. Everybody overseas, globally, the US dollar is what you need to have. Now, Carl gave me opportunities several times, and I've told you repeatedly that how important it is for us to save our dollars. Haven't I, Carl?
Yeah.
I have repeatedly been telling us that the dollar is what we need to have. And if there is something that says to you that you have to buy it and what you need to have to buy it is a dollar, then what's important? It or the dollar? The dollar. Over and over.
This, JB.
Uh-huh.
Let me just add this, because this came out this morning. The euro and the dollar are on parity for the first time in 20 years. Those folks who travel to Europe and use the euro or the pound sterling, they were always worth more than the dollar. Now the dollar is on parity for the first time in 20 years. So all the people going to Europe or traveling these days, your dollar is going to go a lot further.
Yes.
That just came out this morning.
Off the chain. But we gave up on it. We were going around like, you know what I'm saying? So all your friends who were telling you, oh, get rid of the dollar. You don't need the dollar. Buy this little plastic token I'm selling because the dollar is about to go under. Oh, the dollar, blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to JB Bryan. Don't save your dollar. Give your dollar away. Dollar, buy this plastic blah 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 that charges you $1.50 every transaction. Blah, blah, blah. Simple as it is. If you had just followed that simple instruction to just save your money, that's all you had to do. Save it.
But JB, let me jump in here. I know you're saying just save your money, but so many people live paycheck to paycheck. It's sort of difficult for people to save. I hear that for people.
We don't just live
JB
paycheck to paycheck.
Understand. We live paycheck to paycheck. She's talking about save. There's nothing to save. So
we don't live paycheck to paycheck. We live credit card to credit card, car payment to car payment, mortgage payment to mortgage payment. If we live paycheck to paycheck, we'd be all right. We'll live bill to bill. That's it. One lady was telling me the other day about this great idea that this really smart person was telling her about buying something and this great thing, and it costs $1.50 every time you buy it. And I was like, why is that a great idea? Well, it's only $1.50. I was like, why is that a great idea? If it costs anything to buy anything every time you buy it, it's not a great idea. If I was selling you something and it cost you something every time you bought it, why is it a great idea? But every time I want to sell somebody something every time it costs something, nobody wants to pay me anything. Isn't that amazing? But anybody else looks like you, they want to sell you something and it costs you something. But anybody else can sell you something and it could cost you, it's only $1.50. Why can't we be just as smart when it comes to somebody else charging you something for your money? But yeah, but we don't really I wish it was like you said, Carl, paycheck to paycheck. We'd be good. But you're not paycheck to paycheck when you are owing people at the end of the month and there's still bills left. That's not paycheck to paycheck. That's like that's not paycheck. That's like worse. So, but that's where we want to be. Look, like paycheck to paycheck would be okay. So no, we want to get rid of that living off the credit card, the bill to bill, the paying extra. Oh, someone was talking about like the rent to own. Like some people look at furniture as this is, $5,000 for this furniture set. But this comedian was joking on, Price is Right. And they were like, black folk don't win on Price is Right because they don't know how much stuff costs. They look at it as rent to own. They look at how much it costs a week. They go, Drew, that's $35 a week. They don't know that it's $5,000. And I was like, but you know what? There's some truth to that, unfortunately. And we have to stop looking at it as, you know what I mean, transactional, and look at it as, this is something that we have to save up for. And it is not, $1.50, you know what I mean? And just because they're only charging $1.50 each week, we have to look at how much extra we're paying for it because we're paying $1.50 each week. Because we're paying so much extra each week because we're not waiting and delaying and putting it off and waiting until we actually can afford it. We should wait. So when you were asking me about buying the house, we need to really wait, and just make sure, do we really need the house? Now, I just will always remember, a conversation that I had with a couple and how the male client, his wife wanted a house really, really bad, and he didn't want the house because their house was paid for. And she really, really wanted a new house really bad, just because their house was paid for. And he said, there's nothing wrong with our house. And she said, well, we need a new house because our house is on the corner. And the kids every morning wait at the bus stop in front of our house. And they wait. And he said, but there's nothing wrong with our house. And they just wait at the bus stop. And they hear him at the bus stop every morning. And, she was so mad. And then I remember a couple of months later, she died. And here we are, like 10 years later, and he's still in that paid for house. But if he had bought that house and she passed away, he would have that mortgage all by himself and have that debt, and she'd be gone and unnecessarily would have given in. But so many people give in to that unnecessary stress. And it was really, she was cussing and fussing and really upset. So first we have to really think about, why are we getting it? And forever, every time when someone says like that we need a new house or we want a new house, I always feel like, why? I'm going to always ask like, why? I really need to know why, because their kids were grown and they had the house. And, it is so good to have to go in and enjoy your retirement without a mortgage. And there's so much research now about people in their 80s who still have mortgages and have to pay for mortgages and maintenance of their home. And it's so expensive. And it costs so much just to maintain and upgrade your home during your retirement that people really don't realize how much it costs to maintain a house. Plus taxes and insurance, and it's an expensive investment to maintain a house for the rest of your life.
Right, hold that thought right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, hold that thought right there, Jamie,
Mhm.
because we're coming up on a break. But let me ask you this then. So is it better now to be renters now with the fact that rents are going up all over the country? And hold your response, because we got to take the break.
Okay.
Folks, interesting conversation. You got questions about money, reach out to us at 800-450-7876, 26 away from the top of the hour with J.B. Bryan. We'll take your calls in 4 minutes on 1010 WOLB in Baltimore, the DMV on 95.9 and 1450. WOL, where information is power.
Good morning, folks. I'm Earl Kirk. Here's the latest from NewsOne.com. As we await Wednesday's Consumer Price Index, or CPI report, new research shows inflation is tougher on black families.
It's published by the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. They gathered data between 2004 and 2020. Researchers say they found inflation is 13% more volatile for black families than the rest of the families. It also shows families of color spend a larger portion of their income on essential goods and services like electricity and cell phone service. That's compared to white households that spend more on luxury items, less likely to fluctuate in price. I'm Lucinda Kay.
Police in Montgomery County are searching for the person who shot and killed a teenager outside of a barber shop. Police Chief Marcus Jones says at least 60 shots were fired Sunday afternoon in Burtonsville.
These are the individuals who are willing to just fire carelessly at other subjects, but not knowing where their rounds are going to go.
Police are still seeking witnesses. Maryland is making another multi-million-dollar investment to improve water quality and habitats in the Chesapeake Bay. Nearly $19 million from the Chesapeake and Atlantic Coastal Bays Trust Fund is being pumped into 22 ecological restoration projects. Governor Hogan says each of the projects plays a critical role in improving the quality of the bay and making its ecosystem more resilient. DC Health is now offering in-home COVID testing services for people who have difficulty leaving their homes. A registered nurse will administer the test, and residents can set appointments for any day except Sundays. Call the DC Health COVID call center to schedule an appointment. Governor Hogan wants to see more people pursue a career in IT. That's why the state has created a new Information Technology Innovative Workforce Solution Program. The goal is to help people break into the IT industry. The Department of Information Technology is teaming with Catalyte and Digital Network Group to offer the program. I'm Earl Kirk. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to NewsOne.com.
Good morning. Traffic sponsored by Attorney Big Al, the law office of Richard Klein. Accident moved out of the way, southbound Baltimore-Washington Parkway at 197 in Laurel. And the delays are easing. You'll slow a little before 197 heading down towards Powder Mill Road. And then there's congestion between the Beltway and 410. And then it's better to northeast. Northbound, Parkway traffic a little slow near NASA Goddard going up past Powder Mill Road. 50 John Hanson Highway moves well between Bowie and the Beltway. Expect to slow from 410 towards the Anacostia down New York Avenue to Bladensburg Road. And again from Florida Avenue over to the 3rd Street Tunnel. Kenilworth Avenue, still bumper to bumper from Eastern Avenue down past East Capitol Street. Building volume across the 11th Street Bridge and continuing now along the westbound Southeast Southwest Freeway. Mostly sunny today, maybe a scattered shower or thunderstorm, high of 93. Rain tonight, low 73. 70 right now at Reagan National. Attorney Big Al, the law office of Richard Klein, reminds you to call 1-800-HURT-123 if you ever get into an accident. Attorney Big Al will fight the insurance company to get you the compensation you deserve. I'm Robert Workman for News Talk 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
We all know it's happening.
Republicans are passing laws to make it harder to...
Oh. That's right. Yep. Right. Yeah, you got to own the dirt. Man. Yeah, and building an internet business though is so time consuming and difficult. You know. Right, because everybody's got the better, the faster, you know, but you need. yeah, yeah, yeah. There's money in domain names. It's just like you said. Here we come back.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Thanks for staying with us, folks. 20 minutes away from the top of the hour. Our guest is financial expert. Her name is J.B. Bryan, and you've got a financial question about real estate, about credit, about banking, and all that kind of stuff. Reach out to us at 800-450-7876. We'll get to Freddie in Detroit in a moment. But let me just remind you, later on, we're going to speak with the criminal defense attorney, Dwight Pettit, who's going to review the Supreme Court's ruling on guns. Later this week, attorney Malik Zula Shabazz from the Black Lawyers for Justice is going to be here. You know, he's taken over the Emmett Till case. We're going to hear about how they proceed for that, trying to get that lady who claimed that who told a lie on Emmett Till, trying to get her face justice. Also later this week, Dr. Stephanie Myers will join us from Black Women for Positive Change. We'll hear about their mission to get out the vote. And Chicago actress Chairman Fred Hampton will also be with you. So if you're with us, listen to us now in Baltimore on 1010 WOLB, or in the DMV on 95.9 and 1450 WOL. Keep your radios locked right there. JB, before we speak with Fred, I was asking you a question about renting. If this is a good time to rent instead of trying to get into home ownership.
I think it's always a good time to rent, and it's always a good time to buy a home. It always is based on what is best for you. Like, I think that one of the biggest mistakes that we can make is to buy into that lie that renting is throwing away money. There are many calculations that have been done to prove that you can rent and effectively invest money and do better than a person that is purchasing a home. At the same time, a person can purchase a home and do better than a person who's renting. It's all depends on the individual. So definitely you have to make sure that you do what is best for you at a particular time in your life. And all of our life needs change. Like, there's times where a person who has, like, say 4 kids, it's really hard for them to effectively find affordable apartment housing with 4 kids. So they have to get a house, because a house will be more affordable. But with 2 people, they may be more affordable for them to have a 1-bedroom apartment and invest the difference into their 401k or into their business or into commercial real estate or into, whatever their investment strategy is, or into their stock portfolio, whatever they want, other investments they want to do. They might not want to put their money into residential real estate, but because they don't have to, because they don't want to. But the person who has to take care of lodging for a lot of people, they have different responsibilities and they have to do it. So but as the kids get older and they don't want that house, they don't want to maintain it, the house gets older, They don't want to put a new roof on. They don't want to put the water heater. They don't want to maintain it. They don't want to keep up the yard. They don't want to do gardening anymore. They don't want to do any of that. They might want to be in an adult 55 plus apartment community, whatever, that their needs change, then that is perfect for them. And they don't need to answer to anybody about, I don't own this place, because they don't want to own it. They put their money in something else. So you definitely have to focus on your specific financial goals, needs, and what you want to do. Everybody can get rich in their own way. There's not a whole bunch, but there's several billionaires like Kanye West and Elon Musk that brag about they don't have mortgages. They don't have residential real estate. You can be a billionaire without owning a house. They prove that. So, but you can still, you have to own something. You have to invest in things. You can have things, you can have things but to say, I remember getting in a big argument on a panel with this bank president because he said that residential real estate was the one thing that every Black person had to do in order to become wealthy. And I said, that's not true. And all hell broke loose because I defied that. But it's not true in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? There's no one thing, you know what I mean? In anything. No, there's a whole bunch of people, you know what I mean, that have, and at that particular time, Kanye had not broke out with this, and I couldn't use Elon Musk as an example at that particular time. So he was able to make JB Bryan look like she was some sort of idiot, you know what I mean, by saying it. I was crazy because I was defying this Black bank president, but he was wrong in my opinion. But now at least I have some examples where they just came out later. But that is, you know what I mean? It's just not, you don't have to do that. And in many situations, and there's even now research to back it up, that it has pulled down Black wealth in many ways because our residential real estate has not performed well for us. So if we took the same Black money that's gone into residential real estate, and I was able to put it into, say, my investment portfolios in the stock market, and they didn't know it was Black money, we would be richer as a people. Because you don't know when I put it in investments whose money it is. So, but in our Black neighborhoods, they know it's Black houses. So it's been proven that Black people's houses, unfortunately, don't get the appreciation, and Black neighborhoods are redlined and all this, So it has hurt us because we focus so much on residential real estate for our wealth development.
All right, hold that thought right there. 13 away from the top of the hour. As I mentioned, Fred's calling us from Detroit. Fred, by the way, folks, you can see JB. She's on all these social media platforms. You want to take a look at her. But Fred is joining us from Detroit. Fred, you have a question for JB?
Yes, good morning. My question would be related to the whole spectrum of real estate as your guest is talking about. And for senior, could she give some information and kind of elaborate on the pros and cons of reverse mortgages for elderly people? And, especially in relationship to someone that's possibly looking into relocating from the Midwest and going to a warmer climate, either out west or to the southern areas. So that's basically my question around that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred.
Fred, the reverse mortgages, are popular because it's another example of the fee people taking advantage of us because they think that we can't figure it out on our own. So a lady came in and she was showing me the package from the 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 doing that reverse mortgage. And I had never looked at the packages from it before. She joined, and then I said, I'll look at the package if you join, sign up. So she signed up as a full member, blah, blah, blah. I looked at the package and I said, whoa. I was like, you don't have to do this. And she was like, what? I was like, you don't have to do this. All you have to do is refinance your house. She was like, what? I was like, all you have to do is refinance your house. And you could do, and that's done. Like, and she was like, that's all I have to do? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I didn't realize that that's what they're doing. So what they do, they're just like thinking that we don't feel like we can do it ourselves. So they're just like, it's kind of like a rent to own furniture, but they don't think that I guess it's like, yeah, if you could if you could just go to get your own financing, you wouldn't have to do the rent to own people. So if you go to the rent to own people, then you'll have to pay them those extreme amounts, I guess. But if you refinance, then if you just have your own credit card and you buy it, your payment might be a little better. So the credit card for the furniture is a little bit better payment than the rent to own. At least you don't have to worry about them coming to your house and taking your furniture back, I guess. So that's the difference between the where the reverse mortgage, where your house is theirs, the rent to own analogy, where if you refinance, is like you using your own credit card. So we, have to, the more you take control of the situation, the better off you are. Because so either, it's both of them are bad, but one is a little bit worse. So the refinancing, at least you could keep the house and the family, but you still got the debt on it. But the reverse mortgage is kind of really gone. But if you don't really care, like we've had some people that call in and they just don't really care and they don't want to have to worry about it and they just want to have that payment, then that's cool. But the refinancing, it gives you that lump sum, but then you do have that small payment that you are going to have to pay back. So it kind of depends on your situation, because for this lady, she was still working because it was kind of really like, you're not really applicable for this situation anyway. You're not the typical person who would do the reverse mortgage. It's for a person who typically is not working, doesn't have any forms of income really, and they're looking for income. This lady was still working. So it really depends on the situation, but a reverse mortgage is an extreme.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let me jump in here, Jamie. Isn't it like any other thing, financial decision that you make? It's not blanket. You have to, because you as a financial advisor, you have to look at the person's finances, their jobs, how long they've been on working, their credit, the whole 9 yards. So one cut doesn't fit all. Is that good to say that, or am I incorrect?
It's definitely, the answer is it depends on your situation. And a reverse mortgage really wouldn't be for a person that's still working. It's for a person typically that is at the end of their life, and they're just wanting income, like and because the house is paid off. But now they're so desperate for deals, some of them are doing it on homes that just have some equity in them, just based on the equity portion of the home. And that gets real complicated because equity comes and goes. So if the market value changes, what you've done the reverse on might not still be there. So be very careful on all of these things that you do on your home. I have some people who have liens on their homes. They didn't even know they had liens on their home.
That story right there, and I'll let you tell that story on the other side. We got to take a short break. It's 6 away from the top of the hour. Stations need to identify themselves down the line. We'll take your calls for JB Bryan in 4 minutes right here on 1010 WOLB in Baltimore, the DMV on 95.9 and 1450. WOL, where information is power.
Great. Great.
Traffic sponsored by Thundercat Technology and NetApp. Outer loop of the Beltway slowing from
Thanks, y'all. Hanging in there.
through Silver Spring. There had been a broken down.
It's still early.
Georgia Avenue. That's out of the way. Inner loop of the Beltway is still coming off of the southbound 95 ramp. Down past
We at it like it's
and
new.
Greenbelt Metro Station. Washington Parkway a little slow both ways.
Woo!
Powder Mill Road and 197.
This light is hot.
Southbound side. That's out of the way now. Southbound traffic also a bit slow at the Beltway down towards 410.
It's getting hot in here.
Pretty solid down New York Avenue and Kenilworth Avenue. Mostly sunny today. Maybe an afternoon shower.
It's okay.
High of 93. Showers tonight. Low 73. Right now 70 at Reagan National. With 30 years experience, NetApp is a reliable source.
You can turn the refrigerator on. It's adjustable. I didn't think about that.
Diabetes can affect
No, you
millions
big
of lives
time.
this summer. Promise yourself that you'll
My
eat better
studio
and
has
exercise more
adjustable.
often. They're the first steps towards better health. This message is
Oh.
sponsored by Damon Downing, Realtor, Coldwell Banker. You're a luxury property specialist serving the community with
I generally don't. It's got to get real hot for me to get hot. You know that. Don't try to make me sound like I'm a grown woman.
And he can help you buy or
Little
sell a home.
fan. I don't need no
Damon
little
Downing,
fan.
Realtor with Coldwell Banker.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than
I
200,000
don't
miles
need no
with an
little
auto
fan.
warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on
That's
future
right.
auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered
Weed
auto
is in,
repairs. Yes,
weed
you
is
heard
in
that
Florida.
correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto
Up
repairs.
in the morning in
Has
Florida.
been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800.
You know it's early. She ain't call in.
Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again.
Mr. Wayne, I'm glad you liked the question. I mean the topic. Thank you.
Today will also receive free roadside assistance.
Good luck with your new home in South Carolina.
Call us for your free
How you doing, Queen Howard?
484-5094. That's 800.
Thank you, New Black World Order.
What do you have to lose? Call 800-484-5094. Again,
Sure.
800-484-5094.
The nobody knows how they do it deal.
Ever notice how Sprite from Mickey D's tastes so good?
Yes.
Right? Oh, it's so zingy. It's like
We
liquid
get a
static.
book.
For real. How do they do it?
We get the
Girl,
book.
nobody knows. It's a
Just
mystery.
email me. Definitely.
There's a deal for every deep moment.
Don't say I never offered you
Order ahead of
anything.
the app and get your favorite any size soft drink like Sprite for only $1.
That's right.
Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Hi, I'm Oprah Winfrey, and I want to tell you about Wes Moore, who's running to be the next governor of Maryland. When Wes was just 3 years old, his father died, leaving him and his sisters to be raised by his mom, a Jamaican immigrant. It was tough, but Wes overcame the odds to become the first Black Rhodes Scholar from Johns Hopkins University. He then led soldiers in combat as a captain in the U.S. Army, and he became the CEO of one of the nation's largest anti-poverty organizations. I'm supporting Wes because he is a transformational leader with the character, integrity, and backbone to tackle challenges with a sense of urgency. He is a coalition builder who has bold ideas to improve education, keep neighborhoods safe, and close the racial wealth gap. And he will leave no one behind. On July 19th, I hope you will vote for Wes Moore for governor.
By Authority Moore Miller for Maryland Slate, Mary Tidings, Treasurer.
It was a normal day. he was in some minor accident, a fender bender.
And I had this impulse to call him, but I didn't because I thought I could call him later that week.
He abandoned the car, he came home, and he shot himself without ever talking to anyone.
When I came home that night and I found her, they told me that she had shot herself, and I couldn't believe it.
I asked if he was okay.
Shooting is unfortunately effective. There are not a lot of second chances.
Once you pull that trigger, that's it. There is no coming back.
63 Americans a day die by gun suicide. By storing our guns safely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo, we can give our loved ones a second chance at life. Learn more at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
WOL, Washington, D.C. W240DJ, Washington. 95.9 WMMJ, HD3, Bethesda. WKYS, HD3, Washington. WPRS, HD3, Waldorf, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
The Carl Nelson Show.
Somebody had me the call said, I can't remember. Help. Somebody else.
Good morning once again, family, and thank you for waking up with us. A minute after the top of the hour with our guest, the financial advisor, J.B. Bryan. You like to speak to J.B. and think about money, about finances, so reach out to us at 800-450-7876. And J.B., during the break, got a tweeter wanting to know about cryptocurrency. Tweeter says he's being pressured by his friends to get in now because even though it's volatile, let me see that I read it correctly, even though it's volatile, they said now's the time to get in because the cryptocurrency is declined. But all his friends are telling him it's going to increase. What are your thoughts on cryptocurrency?
I'm a registered investment advisor, so it is totally off the books for me and my license. Like I could, if he were a client of mine, I could give him my opinion if I thought it was like within, I guess, the range for my client's risk tolerance or things like that. But I've never like, even in its best day, it's never been on I've never been a supporter of it. Just as a personal opinion. But the I have there amazingly, one of the financial advisors that I've really respected, he actually hung up his financial license. That's how serious our industry is about it. Like, you can't carry our license and be about it, be about that business. And that's, what he focuses on, now. And that's what he does. And the I would like to, like, I mean, he was really famous, but interesting enough, they're still allowing him to stay as the lead the lead owner of the company that carries his name in financial services, though. So I think that is a conflict of interest, that he's still benefiting from securities business, but he doesn't carry a license. I think that needs, that is interesting to me, that they're allowed, that I don't know how long they're going to allow that to continue, but but he's really deep into it. But the if you're going to invest in something because it's down, then there's a whole bunch of things that you should be looking at. You could look at it that way. And my thing is also, I've always said, before I would invest in something that I don't know where it started, I don't know who the founder is, I don't know where the headquarters is, I can't walk up to the door and open it and talk to the guy who wrote this plan and see where their corporate office is and get into this, and there's been some major hacks. There was a major breakdown of $10 billion was lost with a major crypto fund the other day. And I don't know how much has to happen for you to lose your confidence in it. But there are some investments that you can walk up to, you can research, you can find out their earnings potential. And I don't know how hard you work for your money, but nobody's ever given me anything but an opportunity to work. And I'm not trying to give away nothing to nobody. So if you work as hard as I do, and if your life has been as hard as mine is, I'm trying to research and be as careful as I can be and make some good buys, but not take any unnecessary risk at all. At all. No, I hope that it works for everybody that I know that has taken that chance. I don't want to see anybody lose money, but I just can't do it. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that I don't want it. So I'm not at night saying, oh, I don't want it to work. You know what I mean? Because it's cool. Because what did I say? There are people who make money. There's a whole bunch of people who make money. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. They can make money that way. But you can make money some other ways. And so I'm saying there's some other chances. Yeah.
If you can show us some other ways too to make some money.
Yeah, I say go for some.
There.
Yeah, go for some
We got
other
some folks
bets.
want to talk to you, JB.
Mm-hmm.
6 after the top of the hour, 800-450-7876. You too can join the conversation. Like Levi's calling us. He's in Northwest Baltimore on line 1. Levi, you have a question for JB Bryan?
Good morning. I'd like to find out from your guest if I could get that lucky and win the lottery, $100 million clear. What should I do with that money? And I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Levi. Should he take a lump sum, JB, or should he take it in payments, or what should he do? Help him out.
He should sign up for AfroEconomics. He should call me. He should say, I gotta call JB Bryan on TV with the check. I gotta call JB Bryan. Exactly. Call me. I'll come to the TV station with you. That's right. But I think it's very important to get a financial advisor involved in that decision of should I take a lump sum or take the payments. It's amazing to me that people don't talk to a registered investment advisor about that. A registered investment advisor, we are legally responsible for putting your best interest first. That is the responsibility. People do generally, they'll say, I'm gonna call my lawyer. So a registered investment advisor is under similar to the lawyer, where the lawyer has to look out for your best interest, legally. The registered investment advisor has to look out for your best interest financially. That's, you know what I mean? That's what your investment advisory agreement, your financial client agreement with your registered investment advisor. That's why a registered investment advisor is so important for our community to get an understanding of an investment advisory firm. Is we are so product and sales oriented, but we have to move over to a financial relationship oriented. Like, it's not about, which product, but it's about getting to know somebody that's looking out for you, because you're unique. Like, your situation is unique, as I was saying about, crypto or apartments or mortgage or lump sum or payment. Like, that's unique to each person. So, like, one lady told me yesterday, she said, my girlfriend told me to tell her what you told me to do. I said, but tell her that what I told you to do is not applicable to her. So what she think? Like, I was just, she can't get over on that. Like, what? That's terrible. Like,
Well, let's break it down generally for folks who listen. If they come into a lump sum, just generally, should they take it out in payments? Because they have these companies that will buy it, and they'll pay you in payments, or they'll give you a lump sum from if you come into some money, whether it might be not necessarily the lotto, it could be an accident or insurance or anything like that. What is your advice? Is you take the lump sum or you take it in payments?
if the person has discipline, they can handle the lump sum. But if the person does not have discipline, they need to have payments. But most people think that they have discipline, so they want the lump sum. But it's like, the people who, like, the company will say, well, you could take your pension in a lump sum. So they get the lump sum. They go, yeah, JB, they said I could get $500,000 or I can get $2,000 a month, so okay, we take the $500,000 and we put it in the portfolio. And then I go, okay, well, you 57 years old. So, this is the amount you're going to get every month. And we're going to, we're going to stick to the plan. Oh, well, my son need a car. Oh, no, that's not part of the plan. Well, the next month. Oh, my daughter, she needs the so-and-so. See, that's not part of the plan. And then by the end of the year, well, you got to pay extra taxes. Oh, well, so you got to take out more and then more and then more. And then it messed up the whole plan. So that's the part where everybody can't handle the lump sum. That
right.
part.
I guess one of the questions too, JB, is the tax liability. If you hit more with taxes if you take the lump sum, or is it incremental if you take it in payments?
Well, no, if you like, especially in that retirement situation where I was saying, you roll over, you don't have to pay any taxes if you have a lump sum offer from work. You just roll it over and you just pay it over the years of your life. In the the lottery situation, of course, in the lump sum, you will be paying more taxes up front, but you're getting a lot more money, up front. So we do have a lot more money that can go to work for you up front. So you do have a much better opportunity to make a lot more money when you have a lot more money that can go to work for you immediately. You could start a business. You could, you could put money into the market. You could come out straight up ahead if you do the right thing. But it takes a lot of discipline to see that much money all of a sudden. And then you have somebody saying, oh, no, you can't spend it like that. See, you're like, but that's my money. I ain't even have it. I didn't have it anyway. I can spend a couple 100,000, right? And that the whole plan is thrown off. So that's the biggest challenge of my commitment to my people, is my commitment to your overall success, is that I am 100% attached to your success. Like, because you can always find someone. Like, I told this lady one time that she won the lottery, and she was broke because she was getting a monthly check. And she had been evicted, and she had lost, her house. She wasn't paying her bills, not a monthly. She was getting the annual check by the time I met her. She was getting like $200,000 every year. And she, so I wrote this letter to this rental company, and I said, she's gonna get a check, and I promise you she's gonna do these things and blah 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 blah. But by the time she came to me, she had given like $50,000. She went all the way against everything that I had put on letterhead for her. So she says to me, "Oh wow, with I am, just take what I said. Just take what I said, and just a whole bunch of people be happy with this amount." I said, "Yes, you're right. You're right." I said, "But this is my name, and you want to be broke, and I can't help you." And she said, "Well, what do you mean? There's a whole bunch of people that would just be happy with just left." I said, "But look, I wrote to these people. This is what you were gonna do. And you didn't do it. And out front in my lobby is your little girl who we promised was gonna have that apartment. But you decided that you were gonna give $100,000 to this church so that your name was on it, and we haven't even gotten your housing straight yet." No.
Hold that thought right there,
Yes.
JB, because you meant that's an interesting story about the church thing and the whole thing about tithing, and we saw what came out. Creflo Dollar says that tithing was wrong. I want to get your thoughts on that. Though the whole thing about giving, you say you should pay yourself first or pay the church first. With that particular client that you had, she was giving that money to the church. How do you see that as a financial advice?
That was 50%. She only got 200. She was giving 50 because.
All right, hold that thought right there, and I'll let you explain that on the other side, because that's interesting about the tithing for those folks who follow Christianity. 800-450-7876. We're talking about money, folks. JB Bryan is our guest. You got a question? Hit us up. We'll take your calls. It's 16 after the hour. We'll take your calls in 4 minutes right here on 1010 WOLB in Baltimore, in the DMV on 95.9 and 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Good morning, traffic sponsored by Bowie State University, BowieState.edu. Coming in on Route 50, John Hanson Highway. Not bad from Bowie in towards Landover Hills. You'll slow before 202 into Northeast. Pretty solid down New York Avenue, past Bladensburg Road and West Virginia Avenue, and down Kenilworth Avenue, not only to East Capitol Street, but all the way to the 11th Street Bridge. Looks like there may be a problem on the bridge there as you head for the Southeast Southwest Freeway. Northbound I-295 is slow from Malcolm X Avenue, lining up to get to the 11th Street Bridge. And there's not much improvement after the crash, all the way over towards Potomac Park. On the right in on Central Avenue, accident reported near Addison Road. Metropolitan Police also checking for the report of a crash on East Capitol Street near Benning Road in Northeast. Mostly sunny today with a scattered shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, high at 93. Rain tonight, low 73. It's 74 now at Reagan National. Take the next step towards your bold future with an online degree from Bowie State University. Apply now for fall 2022 at bowiestate.edu/online degree. I'm Robert Workman for News Talk 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-811-7033. 800-811-7033. 800-811-7033.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Is racial oppression addictive? If so, how does one recover? Now, more than ever, real answers to these questions are needed. Announcing a groundbreaking self-help workbook, Addicted to White, The Oppressed in League with the Oppressor by Dr. Jerome E. Fox, revealing the first step is for the oppressed to break their addiction to the values of their oppressor. Get Addicted to White, The Oppressed in League with the Oppressor to learn the entire roadmap to recovery. Now available online at Amazon.com.
Time to vote. Primary election day in Prince George's County is July 19th. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Vote your voice. Vote your future. Vote on purpose. Only registered Democrats and Republicans can vote in the primary election unless there's a nonpartisan race in the voters' district. Call 301-341-7300 or visit elections.mypgc.us. Be Prince George's proud to vote. Sponsored by the Prince George's County Board of Elections.
Do you want to create a legacy for your family and develop generational wealth? Make sure you join Steph Sells the DMV for the Real Estate Report, a weekly show featuring informative segments and conversations with real estate and finance industry leaders and experts. If that sounds appealing, then this show is for you. Tune in every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. for the Real Estate Report. Remember, join Steph Sells the DMV every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. for the Real Estate Report, empowering listeners to create legacy and generational wealth.
Dell's Black Friday and July sale is here. Now's your chance for a refresh with savings up to $500 off select computers, like the XPS and select Alienware systems, taking performance to the next level with Intel Core processors. Plus, shop special deals on top accessories. Great financing available with a Dell Preferred account and free shipping. Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
With macular degeneration, you lose your central vision.
You have a blind spot right in the center of your face, so I can't actually see your face.
So even that little circle in which I could see became a big blur.
I was 65 when I first was diagnosed with glaucoma.
There were no symptoms.
Please
I
subscribe.
had no headaches.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
You lose mobility, independence, changes your entire life.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
My husband tells me that I have beautiful brown eyes, and I don't want to lose that.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Twenty-two minutes after the hour, folks. Good morning. Our guest is JB Bryan. JB is a financial advisor. We're talking about money here, how to make money, how to hold money, keep money, how to invest money. You got a question, reach out to us at 800-450-7876. And Sister Sue's holding. We'll get to her in a second. Let me just, JB responded to the question we had approached right before we left for the break. It was about tithing, because you mentioned you had a client had an issue about tithing. And then Creflo Dollar comes out in a couple of weeks away and then confuses the situation. And so the tithing is all wrong. So for your folks, your clients who are of the Christian faith, what do they do? Do they pay themselves first, or they pay the church first, or the pastor?
Yeah. I think that people should do how they feel led, and I think that if they're an active participant in a nonprofit organization, you should support it in how you see fit. And if you feel the need to contribute, you should. And I think that anything that we can do to become more disciplined as a people is beautiful. That if you're active in a church that is helping and doing good things for the community and helping the less fortunate. It's designed to help the widow, to help the homeless, to help the orphans. That is the purpose. To help those who can't help themselves. There's nothing better than for us to help make that happen. No, and that is exactly why I have an AfroEconomics, a free membership that's available. I want to help anybody who wants to help themselves. Like every Friday when I have a membership meeting, it's open to anybody. I heard like over the break, like one of the people were talking with you and he was saying about having an internet business, and he was saying like it's so hard to set up an internet business. To me, setting up an internet business is so easy. And I was like, that is amazing how different people can look at the same thing and look at it so differently. But I've been in business almost 30 years, you know, say so. That's the difference of like, but on Fridays at noon, I talk to entrepreneurs. And I want to talk to everybody in Baltimore who is at home and taking care of their kids, or doesn't have kids, or is looking for a career opportunity, has a computer, has a phone, is looking for, has access to online on Fridays at noon. After you listen to Carl, go over, you know what I mean, to YouTube and plug in and listen to AfroEconomics, and let's talk about setting up that internet business. Let's talk about staying motivated, creating income, you know, and but that's what I do for free. So I can give back, because that's the least that I can do, is make what that brother said to you was hard into something that's easy for him. And to me, that's my tithe. But
all right, that's your time. Hold that right
yeah,
there, because we got some folks want to talk to you. I got 3 questions for you. 800-450-7876. Sister Sue's in Northeast D.C. on line 1. Sister Sue, you have a question or a comment for JB?
Yes. Good morning, JB, Carl. Thank you so much for taking my call. Can you hear me? I'm standing in a parking lot. So. It comes down to 2 words: financial literacy. I'm an educator by trade, 26 years in the game. I'm, mid-50s, so I'm kind of at that point now where some of the decisions and choices that I made in my 20s and 30s and 40s, I didn't know. I mean, yes, you read an article, you listen to JB, you catch a show here or there, but in the spirit of keeping up with the Joneses and getting your master's degree and getting the house, and we've fallen into the culture trap, so to speak, right? We're culturally conditioned to think we have to have things in order to lift up our image in the community, and that we made it and we've got our college degrees. Meanwhile, you're $80,000 in debt and making $50,000 a year.
Amen.
So thank you. That's what it comes down to. Our people perish for lack of knowledge. And now, in our 50s, we're starting to, oh, shoot, I'm 10 years, 15, 20 years away from retirement. What? My father's in his 70s, just bought a house. Why? Because he wanted his own. And I get that, right? The independence, and he's worked hard. He wants to have nice things. But, now we have adult children who now we're trying to pass it on to the next generation. But they're caught up in the BMW and the things and the bling and the internet and the what do they call them? The impressors. Whatever the internet term is, for the.
That's right.
Those folks that are influencers.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. And so the next generation in their 20s and 30s aren't listening to us in our 50s, because now we're feeling that pinch.
That's right.
We're 20 years out, but we still want to live the Jay-Z and Bay lifestyle.
That's right.
And here comes the college debt for that next generation. So if you can speak to the importance, even if it's not being taught in the schools, because I know it's not.
That's right.
The consumer math class is now for those other kids, or the ones that aren't in the algebra 2 and the physics and blah, blah, blah. But whether it's a Cash App or a check, you got to know how to navigate that system, and the system's changing now.
That's right.
The crypto thing, hey, it's real. It's here. It may go the way of the peso. I don't know, but in this day and age, green still counts, and cash is king.
That's
so
right.
I will be signing up. I've neglected. I've delayed. I've hemmed and I've hawed, but the jig is up.
That's right.
It's real now, and I will see you Friday online after 12, at least listening in my classroom in the back. So thank you. You can speak to the importance of financial literacy. And even if you can't take a class, what information can we pass on to, this upcoming graduating class? My niece is on a plane next month to University of Miami. God bless her.
Beautiful.
But
beautiful.
How do we navigate that?
Beautiful.
Thank you, and I'll take the call off there.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Sister Sue, and that's a good question too, JB, because what you were teaching us, our parents didn't know, so they couldn't tell us. So what Sister Sue is telling us, how do we get this information over to our young people?
I think that our parents taught us that, like, they taught us exactly what we're doing. Like, my parents taught us this, and we're living it out. Like, they wanted us to do better than them, so they taught us how to get a mortgage. They taught us how to get a car loan. They taught us how to get a school loan. They taught us how to finance the furniture. They taught us how to get a Nordstrom's card. They taught us how to get a Tallheimer's card. They taught us how to get in a sorority. They taught us how to get in a fraternity. They taught us how to act like we have everything. But they didn't teach us how to keep it real. To keep it real. So we got like another generation of just school loans, like of just kids faking it again. They faking it again, like, and then no matter how old they get, they just literally, when we just go and get mortgages, we're just faking it. We're just faking it, like we're just buying in to the same culture of faking it, and we're just living our entire lives of just faking it. And then it just perpetuates it. So, and then we talk about them like doing it, but they're just doing what we're doing. And what else are they supposed to do? Because we taught them how to do it. And then they go and then they get, and that's $100,000 in school loans for what kind of major? Like, and then they say they major in communications to come out and do what? Like, become a reporter, make 30, 40, you know what I mean? And run up and down the road, maybe get hired, and then what? And struggle to pay the loan back? After 3-4 years, most of these young Black college graduates, their credit's messed up. They haven't even started on a payment back. We're like, I don't know, like we're doing it.
Solutions, because what you're saying is correct. There's
We're
a lot
doing
of
it like
that out there.
Yeah.
So
what
should they be doing?
Then we use big words like financial literacy, and like a teacher inboxed me the other day, and he said, "Okay, I got to talk to these middle schoolers, and so I should I talk to them about like wealth?" And I was like, "Well, that's the wrong word to use." He's like, "Well," I was like, "They don't know what you're talking about with wealth. Like, you need to talk to them about like living within your means. Like, you need to talk to them about like what does money mean to them? What does money look like? What do, how do their parents live?
Right there. I want to
Yes.
hear the rest of that story, but we've got to take a short break. Our station's got to get caught up on the news and weather of the day. Folks, you can join us. It's 27 away from the top of the hour. Reach out to JB. You got a financial question, hit us up at 800-450-7876. We'll take your calls in 4 minutes on 1010 WOLB in Baltimore and the DMV on 95.9 and 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Good morning, folks. I'm Earl Kirk. Here's the latest from NewsOne.com. The House committee investigating the Capitol riot holds another hearing today. Mark Mayfield fills us in.
The Democrat-led panel plans to drill down on the role that extremist groups played in the riot. In particular, the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and Three Percenters. Another hearing was expected to follow on Thursday, but there's word that hearing is being postponed. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Maryland's primary election is a week from today, and Wes Moore is picking up another key endorsement in the governor's race. Congressman Dutch Rupersberger is backing the political newcomer and explains why.
Wes will hit the ground running. I know he will provide steady and smart leadership, focusing on the basics of good government, public safety, education, and infrastructure.
Fellow Congressman Steny Hoyer and Kwesi Mfume are also endorsing Moore in the governor's race. A new report from WRIC shows that more than 300 Virginia state workers have quit their jobs instead of returning to the office. The Department of Human Resource Management plans to issue a final report on those figures by November 1st. Governor Youngkin recently ended telework, where most employees were due back in the office July 5th. Montgomery County Police are searching for the folks who vandalized a pair of Bethesda churches over the weekend. Pastor Joy Jones of North Bethesda United Methodist Church says her church was targeted.
Most of it was what I call mischief, which is dumping stuff out on the floor.
A fire was also set at St. Jane Francis de Chantal Parish early Sunday. Police are seeking witnesses. You'll soon have to come out of pocket again to hop on ride-on buses in Montgomery County. Beginning August 1st, fares will cost riders $1 instead of $2, which was the original price before the pandemic. Fare collection was suspended in 2020 when COVID began running wild. I'm Earl Kirk. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to newsone.com.
Good morning, traffic sponsored by Bowie State University, bowiestate.edu. Inner loop of the Beltway, slowing after Branch Avenue on the way to the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. Late problem in the local lanes between 210 and 295. Broken down vehicle, police behind it now. Center of the roadway is tied up, so stay far left or far right in order to get by. Northbound on I-295, a little better off of the Beltway, but still slow north of Malcolm X Avenue across the 11th Street Bridge and all the way along the westbound Southeast Southwest Freeway towards the waterfront. Eastbound freeway delays begin back in Virginia near the Pentagon across the 14th Street Bridge and go up into the 3rd Street Tunnel. There are reports of roadwork being set up. Suitland Parkway also late to clear out from Branch Avenue and across the Douglas Bridge on South Capitol Street. Mostly sunny today with a scattered afternoon shower or thunderstorm, high 93. Rain tonight, low 73. It's 74 now at Reagan National. Take the next step towards your bold future with an online degree from Bowie State University. Apply now for fall 2022 at bowiestate.edu/online degree. I'm Robert Workman for News Talk 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
Did you know when you use the One VIP Visa debit card to make purchases, you are supporting Black-owned businesses? Plus, there is no cost to get the card and no credit check. Show your support and go to onevip.com to get your card today. The One VIP Visa prepaid card is issued by Stride Bank N.A., member FDIC, pursuant to a license from Visa USA Incorporated. Use of the One VIP card is subject to terms and conditions. After months of sheltering in place with little movement and exercise, you may be experiencing leg pain, leg fatigue, leg cramps, or a hard time walking. You may have peripheral artery disease, also known as PAD. Peripheral artery disease is a serious medical condition that affects 8.5 million adults and can put you at risk of a heart attack or stroke. The Minimally Invasive Vascular Center in Laurel is here to help with your circulation needs. MIVC is internationally recognized for treating patients with poor circulation caused from high cholesterol, diabetes, smoking, high blood pressure, or increasing age. At MIVC, they focus on the listener circulation by providing world-class care to every patient locally and around the region. Under the leadership of Dr. Jeffrey Dormu, they prevent vascular devastation that is rampant in our African-American community. Go to MIVCMD.com. That's MIVCMD.com or call 855-803-MIVC. That's 6482 for more information.
Let's talk about the Johnson men.
Omar, Jarvis, Greg, and I'm Keith.
We met in grade school. We were always together since our last name is Johnson. We had fights sometimes, like all friends do. Despite some disagreements, we show up when it matters most. We're going to be with you every step of the way, man. Through breakups and makeups.
I love that part. Through all the wins and the losses. That's what the Johnson men are all about.
From executive producers Eric C. Rohn and Cedric the Entertainer, the Bounce original series Johnson premieres Sunday night 8/7 Central. Find out where to watch at bouncetv.com. Now back to the Carl Nelson Show.
Oh.
20 minutes away from the top of the hour, folks. Our guest is JB Bryan. JB is a financial advisor. Before we go back to JB, let me just remind you at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by criminal defense attorney Dwight Pettit. He's based in Baltimore. Attorney Pettit is going to review the Supreme Court's ruling on guns. He's also going to talk about the recent shooting of a motorist, alleged shooting of a so-called squeegee kid as well. So keep listening for that. And later this week, you're going to hear from another attorney, Malik Zulu-Sabah. He's the founder of Black Lawyers for Justice. He also now represents the Emmett Till's family. So we're going to hear that story, how that's moving. And also Dr. Stephanie Myers from Black Women for Positive Change will be here to detail the group's move to get out the vote, and also Chicago activist. Chairman Fred Hampton is going to join us as well. So if you're in Baltimore, keep your radio locked on 1010 and WOLB. If you're in the DMV, it's 95.9 and 1450 WOL. JB, before we left the break, you were telling us about a group of students, a story about a group of students. So I'll let you finish telling us about that.
Oh, and the teacher was like, how do I explain, financial literacy to these students? Like, I want to talk about like wealth and, about, just using the word, wealth and, and financial literacy and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't like to use those words. I think it's very important that we just talk to them about money, because that's what they need to understand, money. And I think that if we just make it a discussion like textbook, then there's no empowerment there. But we need to talk to young people just about their financial experience. Like, how do your parents pay for their transactions? How do your parents pay their bills? Because now, since things are paid online, they may not even know how their parents pay their bills. Talk to them about that. And then, so they go home and say, how do you pay your bills, Mom? Oh, well, I pay it online. Like, do you know that? Well, can I see you pay your bills? The teacher asked me to see how you pay your bills. Oh, well, I pay Virginia Power this way, and I pay so-and-so. That's financial empowerment. To me, that's financial literacy. Like showing them, and I told them.
Let me ask you this, JB. Let me ask you this. How old could you tell them, you tell them that you're paying the bills. How old did you have this conversation with your children?
Immediately, I think you should just talk to them about responsibilities. I think at the beginning, like you should, when they're 2 and 3, I don't think that it should not, they should say, you should not think that, they don't understand. Talk with kids all the time. In your belly, at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4. Like, you just talk to them. Oh, I'm getting some money out of the ATM machine. Oh, this is the bank. Oh, the bank is going to get some money. Oh, I'm taking out $20. This is a $20 bill. Everything is a teachable moment. It's about communicating.
Even though you tell them how much money you're making, is that something they should know as well?
They should not know. They should know that you're taking out $20 out of the bank. You know, that doesn't mean anything to them that you make $30,000 a year. That's irrelevant. They don't need to know that you could not pay the electricity bill at 4 years old. Don't give them financial insecurities. That is way too early. We should make sure that we don't give them a mindset of poverty that is tragic. That is happening way too early, and it robs them of a confidence that every young person needs to have. They need to know that they're going to be okay. And we need to do everything we can to make them feel good. It's like, even if you're being evicted, they don't need to know about it. Oh, we're going to stay with grandma.
For you, JB, on this same vein, Twitter says, should you give them an allowance? Should you have them do chores and pay them? Should they pay for helping around the house?
No, I don't think so. I never gave my daughter an allowance. That's my opinion. My parents never gave me allowance either. I don't think so. I think that they should be doing responsibilities because they live there. They should just be taking care of where they live, period. You know what I'm saying? If I choose to give you some money, then I choose to give you some money. You know, it's just an awkward situation when you start making them feel like that. It's just really, really hard. Like, oh, if you do this, you know what I mean, for your house, it's just really, really hard. You know, it's just really, really hard. It's when they're taking care of their own place, because it's just not going to happen, and they're going to have to take care of their own house one day. So this is where they live. So there's going to be things that they're going to go, let them go do it for a neighbor.
You don't pay them for doing that?
No, not in my house, not where they live. But you know, that's where you live. You just have to do it because you live here. This is where you live. But that's because I'm from North Carolina. Like, you know, my parents never got allowance. Like, it's just, well, you know, when you work on a farm, everybody just works on the farm. Like, that's just what farmers do. But, you know, I mean, definitely my, you know, being that I have just one child, she's definitely spoiled, but she didn't get allowance. Like, oh, you do this. I could have definitely done a lot better. I might have come out ahead by saying, if you do this, this, and this, I would have got more, probably. I think parents that do that probably get more out of their kids. There's only 6 more things you need to do. I probably would have done. I know my husband's listening. Yes, you would have done better. It's like, you have 6 things you need to do for the house. And I would have done, you know, I would have done better. But I think that works. I think people need to do what works for them in their house. And I think if it works and you're doing it, you should do it. But I don't think that that's really what teaches your children about commerce and business. You can actually teach them. How I learned about business, I started a business as a child, you know, and I just did business. I started doing newspaper, just creating little businesses and things like that. I just had that type. There's different kids. Kids are who they are, you know, but different kids do different things. You might have a child like that and encourage it. There might be your child might not like be like that. My daughter is not like that. So I don't try to make her enterprising. She's not that. She's more a creative type person. She loves internet. She loves YouTuber type of that. She's like that. I wasn't on the creative side like that. So that, you know, allow them to be who they are. And that's how I encourage. But as far as like financial empowerment, it's just about communicating with them about how to handle things. And I made the mistake.
Right.
Hold
that thought, because we were racing the clock and we got 12 minutes away from the top there. And Brother Hakeem's joined us from Baltimore. Brother Hakeem, you're on with JB Bryan.
Greetings, yes. Good morning, Sister JB. Good to hear you again.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having Brother call again. Thank you. Well, First, I appreciate this insight, and you said some powerful, insightful things. I actually, in terms of my strategicness, I didn't purchase a house like regular price. I got it at half off.
Beautiful.
But that's the first thing. But there's a brother, Dr. David Anderson. He's down in Atlanta, and he in one of his workshops, he said we spend too much of our time with mortgages, and so I don't know. I think he promotes the tax liens or something like that. He said between mortgages and car loans, that's like the death of the Black community. We don't have no money to invest in our dreams and our goals and entrepreneurship and asset accumulation. But one thing, there's a brother here. He's a very successful business owner named Bob Wallace. He ran for mayor. He was an independent. And one of his more, small conversations, how you said something about how, our houses in our communities, tend to depreciate or undervalue. For instance, and he had several houses, so he has a lot of experience. And he said that he had to get like a white person to market his house because they were trying to undervalue it because they knew that a Black person was the owner of it. And I'll just close and say, in Prince George's County, they get a significant amount of undervalued property, and this is similar size and houses to places in Montgomery County, but just because it's a predominantly Black community. And that's what I always looked at. I was like, we put too much, and like how you criticize that or, critique that bank person. There are a lot of people just quoting information and they don't put the racial dynamics in their research. So I appreciate you, like just acknowledging that and, stop listening to these cookie cutter, approaches that many of these financial planners or whatever, they are.
Yes.
They just quoting things that they've heard and heard. But so
that's right.
Thank you very much. And I'll just take it off the air and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brother Huckey.
Wow.
JB?
That was powerful. It's so true, breathtaking. Exactly. Someone that just understands. It's a very, very, very good point. And I remember a Washington Post article after the Great Recession, they call it, like in 2009 and 10, when they were saying the recovery of the real estate. And the Washington Post was trying to show where Fairfax was coming back aggressively from the real estate recession, but PG County was struggling to come back, on their real estate. And and the PG County was like thoroughly disappointed by the Washington Post article, and they wanted them to come to retract it, because they were like, don't put this in writing, because it's like, we don't want, don't put this out here. But it was, already out there. But it's sad to say like that this happens. Like it was like, their question was like, why? Why is this happening? Like, why are these values going up so slow? But this is already almost recovered. So
and the answer?
It was just because of the racial divide.
Right. And are you saying that people are afraid to talk about that, have those kind of discussions?
Yeah, they did. Well, they didn't want it because of the realtors, of course, in PG are like, all you're going to do is make it worse. You're making it worse by bringing this up. But it is what it is.
Yeah, but isn't that understood, though, even for realtors? Even for folks, we know that we have to pay twice as much and our homes are undervalued. Isn't that something that we already know?
Yeah, it's like, I know, instead we have to, we should instead take a approach, what can we do to increase, the value, or what can we do to stop this? Why has this been done? What, are the appraisers, are the appraisers doing something? Is this something that the that should be addressed by the appraisers that are appraising the properties, or why is this happening?
Right, it's just systemic racism. That's what it is, built into the fabric of this country. Black people know that from jump.
Instead of
Was the article for the white folks though, who probably don't understand or who don't know?
That's true. Like, who exactly are we talking to, right? Who are they writing it for? Who are you writing it for?
Right.
You're right, because we already know.
That is so true. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, and the question is, and I always say this, so what do we do? What's the solution? Because we know what the problems are.
I think that what we should do as Black people is that we need to realize that we cannot overbuy in our homes. What happens is that we overbuy. White people don't overbuy in their home. Like, their home is not their biggest asset. Like we could live next to them, and our home is our biggest asset. Like our home is like dominating your house, and your house payment is huge to you. Like, and it's not huge to them. So we should just be more careful in how we view that home purchase, and stop allowing it, to be such a big portion of your net worth, but instead.
Let me jump in here, JB, because you have some folks in our community who love to overbuy. They will boast that they paid X amount of dollars more for a car or for a home.
Yeah.
As if that makes them better than the rest of us.
Yeah, and a very, very bad habit. Very, very bad habit. And instead, we need to see that this is just an investment, just a place to live, just a place to be safe, just a place for housing, and it just has to be reasonable, and you have to be very careful on that purchase price. And you need, and if it's out of whack, like, we almost buy and feel like they're doing us a favor at the time of purchase. Like, I hope they let me in. And we have to stop that mentality. We have to get our confidence up and realize that they need you to purchase that. And if you don't want it, like, look at that. Look it up. People are canceling real estate contracts without hesitation. We think, oh, they might keep my money. It's like, give them the deposit. It's not going to be good for you. It's worth losing the deposit to walk away from something that's going to have you losing thousands going forward. You have to think about how much it's going to cost you over time than that 200-300 you might have had to put down. We're thinking about, I might lose 200 or 300, because I'm canceling. No, but you have to think, to be wise, like, what's going to be in your best interest over time. And if it's not working for you, get out of it. Like, so we need to be careful and realize that they need your business, where you're in the driver's seat. We should look at the research on even on car purchases, where they have on how much women car purchases, especially Black women. They were saying how Black women, their confidence was so weak that they would have great credit, great income, and they would say, well, your credit.
We're running late. We got to take a quick break. I'll let you finish on the other side. Right here on 1010 WOLB in Baltimore, 95.9 and 1450 WOL in Washington, D.C. We'll take your calls next.
Good morning, traffic sponsored by Thundercat Technology and NetApp. All lanes now open on the inner loop of the Beltway headed for the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. The broken down vehicle between 210 and 295 moved over to the right shoulder in the local lanes with help, so there's still plenty to see through there. Delays begin before St. Barnabas Road. Northbound on I-295, you'll slow before Malcolm X Avenue across the 11th Street Bridge. That'll continue across the westbound Southeast Southwest Freeway to the waterfront. Eastbound freeway still slow before the Pentagon as you come up out of Virginia across the 14th Street Bridge. That gets better after Main Avenue. Slow on Suitland Parkway from Naylor Road, pretty solid across the Douglas Bridge and up South Capitol Street towards the freeway and Capitol Hill. Mostly sunny today. Could see a scattered shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. High 93. Rain tonight, low 73. 74 now at Reagan National. With 30 years experience, NetApp has been a reliable source of cloud solutions for federal agencies. And AWS is their leading cloud platform. Thundercat and NetApp are cloud storage specialists and can supply your agency with all its needs. I'm Robert Workman for News Talk 1450 AM WOL, where information is power.
Anthony was working a dead-end job.
I was surviving, but I wasn't getting ahead anymore.
A friend told him about My Computer Career.
She's like, I'm already in the program. She's like, you'd be crazy if you don't do it. So I jumped right in and have not regretted it.
Anthony did it all online.
All you got to do is have an internet connection, and you can do it.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
You need to check out My Computer Career. If it worked for me, it'll definitely work for you too.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hand me that nail gun. Here you go. And here's the fries. Lunch. Who's hungry? You know, maybe instead of loading up a nail gun with French fries to feed the crew, we should just order lunch through Easy Cater. Food from all our favorite restaurants. My bad. On time and as ordered. Delicious. Huh. Load up the hot dogs while I think about it.
Some food just doesn't work at work, but Easy Cater just does. Food for work on time and as ordered from over 85,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Hi, I'm Kathy Hughes, and I'm very happy to report that our strategy of Buy Black Tuesdays is beginning to work for the Black businesses in our radio market. Thank you to each and every one of you who's already participating, and each week making a conscious effort to spend some money with a Black-owned business, whether on the local or on the national level. Commitment and conscious awareness of the power of our spending will slowly but surely have an impact on the economic growth in our community. Now that you are doing conscious spending, how about encouraging your family and friends to join us? Because this can really work if we all participate. The recommended businesses for this week are
Howard Clark and B Street Movers. BStreetMovers.com. Pump It Up Partay, Lanham and Bowie. PumpItUpParty.com. C. Allen's Men's Grooming. CAllenMen'sGrooming.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
to learn the facts. Look at their record. When Donna Edwards was in Congress, she was rated the least effective Democrat. Not one of her bills was ever passed into law. And Donna Edwards was notorious for inattention to constituent services. The Washington Post endorsed Glenn Ivey, saying he was, quote, highly successful as state's attorney and would make a more effective member of Congress. Glenn Ivey, quote, launched aggressive prosecutions against violent gangs, police officers who used excessive force, and mortgage fraudsters, while he established programs to divert first offenders rather than lock them up for minor crimes. And Glenn Ivey led the fight to end the death penalty in Maryland. Glenn Ivey, Democrat for Congress, endorsed by the Washington Post. United Democracy Project paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.udp.us.
Donors choose.
That's right.
Support a classroom.
Morning.
Did you know that every year, public school teachers spend nearly $500 of their own money for student supplies? Let's do the math. That comes out to over $1.2 billion a year. And that's just not right. At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your help. Here's what you can do. Go to DonorsChoose.org and choose from teachers' requests that support reading, math, science, history, and more. Once the request is funded, we'll take care of shipping everything directly to the teacher. It's that easy. You'll receive thank you letters and photos from students and teachers and a report of how every dollar was spent. With school just around the corner, the need has never been greater. Learn more at DonorsChoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
WOL, Washington, D.C. W240DJ, Washington. 95.9 WMMJ, HD3, Bethesda. WKYS, HD3, Washington. WPRS, HD3, Waldorf, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
The Carl Nelson Show.
You're rocking with the most ultimate. All right, let's go. Keep rocking.
Good morning, family. 4 minutes after the top of the hour, we got Attorney Dwight Pettit on deck. We get to Attorney Dwight Pettit in a minute. Let's wrap up with J.B. Bryan. So, J.B., some folks are going to get a chance to talk to you. How can they reach you?
1-844-522-7926. 1-844-JBBRYAN. Don't hesitate to call, or jbbryan.com, AfroEconomics.com.
And Friday's free?
Friday is absolutely free. A workshop at 9, workshop at 12, and also Wednesday nights, tomorrow night, live. Also, I love you in the morning, Carl. It's great.
Thank you. Love you more. Thank you, JB.
Thank you. It was great.
All righty.
Thank you.
That's JB Bryan. She's a financial advisor. Folks, let's turn our attention now to Attorney Dwight Pettit. Attorney Dwight Pettit, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Carl. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Help us out here with the Supreme Court decision, first of all, about